So are we getting tired of seeing videos about the UCS Venator? I hope not, because this is still my all-time favorite UCS set, and I could talk about this thing all day. So we are revisiting the Venator once more to add one of the most requested, most anticipated features for an Ultimate Collector Series Venator that unfortunately LEGO didn't deliver on, which is an opening hangar bay door, the most iconic feature in my opinion of the Venator, and having all those gunships, dropships, Y-Wings, V-19s, Arc 170s, like it is just such a cool distinct feature from the Clone Wars animated show that we all know a lot happens in this little hangar scene. One of the most iconic final scenes from season 7 of Ahsoka and Rex facing Jesse in the hangar bay. There's just a lot that happens here, and so it was definitely disappointing that LEGO wasn't able to make it happen. Now, when I talked to the LEGO Star Wars designer who worked on the Venator, he explained that it would be compromising structural integrity if they were to do such a feature, and so it was ultimately eliminated out pretty early on in the design process, and thus this is the $650 Venator that you can get on sale today. But thanks to Forged in LEGO, a fan designer, we now have a modification to add an opening hangar door to the Venator. Should you do it? Is it worth it? All of those questions will be answered here in just a few minutes. So before we get to that, I do have two other modifications that I want to show you guys first.
So some of you might previously remember that I had indeed attempted and successfully recreated the open circle fleet symbol pad printed on a 6x6 Lego tile. Well, I'm happy to report that we're following that up, replacing all of these stickers so that no more will you have air bubbles in your stickers, cracked stickers after, 10, 20 years of time. And then on top of that, the discoloration that you can get from stickers as well, like the light bluish gray being off. That is all in the past with replacing these pieces with pad printed ones. I'm not going to lie, I'm pretty hyped to see what these look like on the Venator. They look really good in person, even better than the stickers, of course. And even when you compare it side by side, the sticker here on the left versus the pad print on the right, there's a huge color difference there. It actually matches the dark red Lego color properly. Starting from the back side, we start with replacing these slope bricks, which honestly, I don't understand why LEGO didn't print. There really wasn't a key reason why these couldn't have been printed, but regardless, now this is an option. Following that, by removing both panels on the side of the Venator, we can replace two more stickers, being both the open circle fleet symbol, which is now far more color accurate than that sticker piece, as well as these little lines, which again, I'm surprised LEGO didn't print, but regardless, it is a nice change so that we don't have air bubbles or anything like that. And the results speak for themselves. On the right-hand side, you have the pad printed tiles. On the left, you have the stickered tiles. You be the judge. Which one looks better? Now, if you're interested in getting your hands on these replacement pieces with pad printing, not UV printing, pad printing, they're going to be available on my next Whatnot stream, who's the sponsor of this video.
Now, for those of you unfamiliar with Whatnot, it is basically a live stream version of eBay. You join a stream and whatever the seller is auctioning off, you can bid on in real time. For my upcoming Whatnot stream, I'll be auctioning off all of these minifigures, sealed sets. Heck, I even got Jedi Bob here that I'll be auctioning off. And while I'm live streaming, I'm also going to be giving away 4 of these Clone Trooper and Battle Droid battle packs. These are brand new sets that all you have to do is be present during the stream and you can win them. It's free shipping, no strings attached. And so when is this Whatnot stream happening? It is this Saturday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember, this is live, so you have to be present when it starts at 6 p.m. Now, I have a special link down in the description that when you join Whatnot, you'll also get a $15 credit that you can use towards all of these auctions on top of those Venator plates that I'll be selling during the Whatnot stream. So again, it's this Saturday, February 10th at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll see you guys then. Link below. Thanks to Whatnot for sponsoring this video.
The next modification is yet another stand that you can replace those black Lego pieces underneath the Venator with. This being a very simple, clear acrylic stand that just literally is plug and play. You don't really have to do any modification whatsoever. You just have to take the Lego black stands off and put this clear one on. And honestly, it looks significantly better. Now, this is from iDisplayIt. I've been using their stands for like 5+ years. I know they're good quality. I work with them all the time. And if their name sounds familiar, that's because I've shown their 45-degree angle Venator stand before. So now you have two different options for whatever you want to swap out on your Venator. Honestly, both look amazing and both make the Venator look significantly better. And now what you've all been waiting for, what was it like to build Forged in Lego's modification of adding a hangar bay to the Venator? I'm not going to lie, this was far more intensive than I ever had anticipated. I definitely wasn't expecting how much I have to take apart my Venator, and honestly, a little part of me kind of was broken on the inside seeing it come apart like this. Thankfully, it did all go back together, but seriously, look how much I had to take apart off the Venator. You have to disassemble so much. I probably took off like 400 pieces that have to be reoriented into the actual modification itself. On top of that, you have to order 400 pieces off Bricklink. So it's intensive, man. It's not easy. Now, to be fair, it is warranted to take apart the entire set because the entire frame itself needs to be reworked and restructured, as you can see here. Everything is different on the spine now of the Venator. It's pretty wild to see this come together. Now, while this modification was time consuming, I was pretty happy with the instructions. It was worth the $5. They were well made. And the results speak for themselves. I mean, look how awesome that is. As a diehard Clone Wars fan, this is truly a dream come true for me. Opening and closing this hangar is, well, words can't describe how satisfying it is. It's good, man. It's good. The functionality is pretty impressive. It's a fairly simple function. It just uses a few gears. And then on the front end of the hangar, these pieces just literally sit beside some little hinge areas, and that's how it works. It's literally just opening and closing, and it almost feels magical. After completing the modification, I did have one issue where there was quite a significant gap between the two red panels here, and in order to fix that, I just had to push up these Technic pieces, and that really fixed it pretty quickly. Now, these hangar doors don't just open up to an open cavity. There is more detail than meets the eye with this modification. On the sides, you'll notice that there is different little mini hangars with the indentation of some blue 1x4 tiles, which I think look good. I think it works, and this is also in scale with the little micro gunship that comes with the UCS Venator, and so that's pretty sweet. Now, while the hangar is far from minifigure scale, you can actually fit some figures in here, and that's exactly what I did. I was curious to see what it looked like. The inner fan in me was coming out, so I recreated the Season 7 scene. And you know what? This kind of looks cool. Is it totally out of scale? Absolutely. Does it still look awesome? You betcha. Continuing with our scientific experiments, well, I had to find out how many clone troopers fits in the hangar, and the answer is you can get at minimum 20 clone trooper minifigures inside this Venator hangar modification. Very happy to report that. Taking a step back, you might also wonder, does this compromise the Venator in its looks, aesthetics at all? Does the exterior look any different from the normal UCS Venator? Can you tell that there's even a hangar there? Honestly, I think I could trick someone very easily that this is just the normal Venator set. That is very impressive. Good job, Forged in Lego, because you fooled everyone.
So really the last thing I need to test and show you guys is the durability. Does this set fall under its own weight, given that the structural core of the front end of the Venator has been compromised by this modification? You've taken out a lot of Technic beams, and you've kind of reworked the whole design into having a completely open section right down the middle of the spine of the set, which holds all that weight. And does it succumb under the pressure? Well, if I pick up the Venator, I don't see any major flexing, which is a good sign. Now, to be fair, if I hold the front end, you can see there, yeah, that nose is kind of going up. But to be fair, the normal UCS Venator also does that. So I'm not super worried about durability. I think Forged in Lego did a great job redesigning the hangar to make sure that it still was structurally stable, that it can hold its own weight with this, humongous Venator, that it won't sag over time. Lego does far more extensive testing with their designs. They put their sets in giant ovens to melt them to see where the most fragile breaking points are so that they can rework them and make sure that over time these things hold together very well. Obviously, Forge and Lego, I don't think went that extensive with his testing. So I just want to put that disclosure out there that there is no real testing to really say whether this will hold up over time. I think it will, but I'm personally not too concerned. As a mock builder, I saw what Forge and Lego did here. He used a lot of bracket pieces to kind of keep things together, a lot of good techniques as well. So I'm not worried about this thing succumbing under its own weight. I can't promise that it will, but I think it'll be fine. So was it worth the 5 hours to disassemble and rebuild the Venator, over $100 in parts to add on to the set and replace, and then on top of that, the $5 instruction cost to do this modification? So we're looking at 5 hours, $105. I'd say you have to be a diehard Clone Wars fan to want this modification for your Venator. Honestly, you're not going to really utilize it in any particular way. You saw what it looked like with minifigures on it. The best you can do is little micro vehicles like the one here on the Hangar. And so it's not a practical modification. You can't really utilize it in a ton of ways. It's more of just a cool showpiece, maybe for your friends and family, or maybe you just want to play with it like I do, and it is really cool. So with that in mind, I would have to say you have to be a particular fan to want to modify your Venator this extensively. It's a lot of work. I think it was worth it. I think it is worth the $5 to pay. The instructions, again, Forge and Lego, they didn't send me parts. I did this modification all myself. He doesn't know I'm making this video. I'm sure he'll be shocked that I did his modification. But I'm glad I did it because it is that cool. So links down below to Rebrickable if you want to pick up the modifications and instructions. Like I said, it's $5, as well as links for the pad printed panels if you want to pick those up. And of course, the clear stand from iDisplay. All of those will be linked down in the description below. Of course, I want to thank Whatnot again for sponsoring this video. Hope you guys have a great, wonderful day, and I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.